minutes past 8. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're continuing our focus on the energy, environment, and investment forum coming to you live from Port Harcourt. It's the second day, and we're joined now to talk more on this by Boma Ozobia, who is a partner, Sterling Partnership Nigeria. She'll be talking about issues of regulation concerning the environment. Morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
I mean, we've spoken to a number of people on this same matter, different perspectives really, but regulation, legislation also takes center stage here. Give us your perspective. What do you think about where regulation or what role regulation can play when we talk about sustaining energy?
Well, we have a myriad of laws regulating our interaction with the environment and energy and so on. It is really the enforcement that's the issue, and understanding what we currently have so that we make the best of it. That's the challenge for us, not making new laws, because the laws we currently have are more than sufficient to get us where we want to go.
Do you see a paradox of sort in the title of this summit? First of all, we're looking at energy, we're looking at environment, we're looking at investment, or the investment part of it comes much later. But the first two, energy and environment, first of all, you know our situation here. We barely have enough electricity, and so generators are a constant factor, something that doesn't quite agree with the environment. How do we reconcile this? Do you think it's too early to begin to have this conversation since we're still at the base level?
Absolutely. I mean, yesterday's program, we heard Professor Yancy, for instance, giving the statistics. Nigeria's carbon footprint is literally as faint as nothing. It's 0.4%. China, 24%. United States, 20-something percent. Europe, 12%. So we are not the polluters here. We need to turn on the lights, first of all.
But he'll disagree with you.
In what sense?
In the sense that he will tell you that we can actually help in saving the damage that has been done. So much as he says that our carbon footprint is not large, we also tend to serve as the reserve for those environments that have been damaged, so that our forests and trees, which is still, by the way, the major source of fuel around here, if they get damaged, then the entire world could be in trouble.
He may well disagree, and that's his prerogative. I, as a Nigerian, am looking at our challenges here. I run generators in my office. I run generators at home. I look at the ordinary Nigerian who's unable to even start a small business because of the power challenges. And my view is, let's turn on the light first. Whatever it takes us to do that, we are fossil rich. We produce gas, we produce oil. Let's use what we have. Turn on the light, get our economy going, get Nigerians employed. That's our immediate challenge.
But you see,
and then we can begin to talk about sustaining.
I mean, for how many years we've been attempting to turn on the light, we've been talking the talk. How do we get down to the get down? That comes back again to the issue of regulations. We've been talking about the petroleum industry bill that's been going back and forth. There are no laws, so to speak, guiding that sector, the power sector, the energy sector, and even the environment. So how do we move forward before we turn on the light?
No, we actually are moving forward. The change is happening. There is a law that was passed in 2005, which is the legal framework for what we see happening today. The unbundling of the energy sector, the happy demise of NEPA and PHCN, and the private sector coming in
there are a lot of people that will disagree with you.
That's the first stage. We won't see all of this happen overnight, but we've got the right framework, regulatory framework for it to happen, which is why investors are putting their money down. If they couldn't see the exit, they wouldn't invest. It's the same decision you and I would make. Why would I put my money into this if I can't see where I'll make my profit and how I'll get out of it? Prior to 2005, that wasn't clear. The new law and what is going on now makes it clear to the investors, and that's why they're putting their money in.
Okay. Staying with that law, yes, PHCN's out. Private
Thank
investors
God.
are in. Okay. Private investors are in. But a lot of Nigerians will tell you that since the private investors came in, there's been a decrease in the supply of electricity. That's on one side. On the other side is the private investors come in, they're building private plants. They'll require gas. The cost of gas is still not set. There's still a controversy about the costing of gas. There's also tell you that the equipment they found on ground when they took over the PHCN are obsolete. That's capital intensive. So we still get back to that point where you're saying we need to turn on the lights. But these are the challenges these people are going through. So that same law we're talking about somewhat seems ineffective. The PIB is supposed to have made things a lot easier in terms of the oil and gas sector, how that would help the power sector move forward. But it's still hanging in the balance at the National Assembly. And you say we're moving forward. How's that working out?
I would separate the PIB from this conversation.
Why?
Because the PIB doesn't directly impact on your turning on the lights in Nigeria. It impacts on our selling our oil and gas abroad.
Gas.
It impacts, yes.
Don't forget the gas part.
Of course.
Gas to
No,
power.
you mustn't forget the gas part. That's the big deal for us. It impacts on what we get out of it and who gets what. Is it the communities? Is it a federal, purse? Or is it? Those are the sorts of things that you're looking at. How we sell our oil and gas. Don't forget the gas part.
Okay.
But in turning on the lights here in Nigeria, and that's what I want us to really focus on. For too long, our focus has been everyone else but us. If you listen to the former president of Lech Walesa, Poland, yesterday, the rest of the world has been so focused on themselves, it's about time they begin to look outwards. I sat there thinking, that's not been our problem. We focused on the rest of the world. We've been Africa's big brother for too long. We need to be looking inwards, getting our house in order, and then we can be stronger to help everyone else. But Nigeria's priority has not been Nigeria. In everything we do, in our foreign policy, it's not been Nigeria. In our energy policy, it's not been Nigeria. We support the rest of the world, particularly Africa. Big brother, it's about time we supported ourselves and dealt with our issues first, and then we can look at how to help the rest of the world.
But if we're going to talk about turning on the light first, and then maybe much later we can then talk about sustaining it in terms of maybe the laws, putting them in place. Don't you think that...
The laws are in place.
The laws are in place for even going green, ensuring that people do the right things?
Of course. We are great at, signing up to every UN treaty and every new law that comes along. You find we're one of the first that, sign on to it. But it's the implementation, that's not the issue. So in terms of laws, we have plenty of them. We don't need new laws to be green and to sustain what we do. But switch on the lights first, using what we have. That's my message to our leaders, to us all, because this is our country, this is our problem. We're all running generators, we need to engage.
I'm wondering.
And then look at sustaining it.
Okay, what about the part of the laws in terms of how we use what we have, alternative energy purposes now? Are those also in place sufficiently?
They are. But beyond law, it is enlightened self-interest that gets people doing the right thing. So once we understand, okay, solar power is the cheapest and most plentiful source of energy for us. I mean, you get up in Nigeria, the sun shines. We avoid the sun because it's just too much. Yeah? The Europeans don't have the same as we do. So why are we not using solar? Oh my God, the technology to convert solar to energy for our use in our homes is expensive. Well, it's expensive because the research is happening in a place where actually they don't have the sun in the way we do. So perhaps we should be doing the research and finding how to convert.
So that's an investment window.
That's an investment we should be doing.
That's definitely one perspective that we can look into from. But,
so that's longer term sustainability.
Yeah.
But I'm saying right now we have plenty of gas. We have plenty of gas.
Which is
plenty of gas.
Which we understand is clean energy as well.
It's clean energy in comparison to our diesel and the kerosene and the firewood that we're cutting down to, burn. Let's use it.